for Women's Education in India, Banistali Vidyapeeth. His academic credentials include BCom in taxation. He was gold medalist in BCom, Masters in Financial Administration from Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, and PhD in Commerce from Barakatullah University, Bhopal. Dr. Purohit has a very impressive research profile. He has completed 9 research projects of total amount of rupees 9 crore. He has authored 5 book chapters and published over 100 research articles in various reputed national and international journals, out of which 26 are Scopus Index research articles and 5 Scopus papers are in pipeline. With more than 1,000 citations, H-index of 15 and I-10 index of 20, his scholarly contribution reflects depth, consistency, and a strong commitment to research. His research areas span finance, banking, financial literacy, digital economy, behavioral finance, consumer behavior, supply chain and management, among others. He heads the National Center for Corporate Governance established by the National Foundation for Corporate Governance and also serves on the board of directors of 2 companies. He was also selected as the chair professor of ICICI Bank chair for BFSI at Banistali Vidyapeeth between 2008 and 17. He has also from the University of. Sorry, sir. Okay, he has. I specialize in.
Please continue.
Okay, okay. He has also contributed significantly to institutional development by facilitating CSR grants from organizations such as Bank of America, SBI, Tech Mahindra Foundation, HDFC Bank, and the Jamnalal Bajaj Foundation. Dr. Purohit has received 9 awards from principal mutual funds, ICSI, Lions Club, and various bodies. He is globally ranked in the top 5%. Of 5% among more than 3 lakh researchers on SSRN USA. He has delivered numerous talks, conducted workshops, PhD vivas at multiple universities, and acted as a member of jury for the awards and several selection committees to recruit teachers at professor level as well. In 2024, he has acted as one of the resource person for conducting a workshop on Bharatiya Prabandhan at IIM Mumbai. He has recently conceptualized innovative frameworks like holistic electoral competency rating, Bharatiya model of financial and digital literacy, and work-life natural fusion, which have potential to bring another revolution. Under his dynamic leadership, both wisdom and Faculty of Law at Banistali Vidyapeeth have flourished as vibrant centers of learning, nurturing competent professionals and socially responsible leaders. In essence, Dr. Purohit has been instrumental in shaping holistic, culturally rooted, and forward looking education for women, beautifully bridging tradition with modernity in the fields of management and law. We are truly privileged to have him with us today. We look forward to benefiting from his rich experience, deep insights, and scholarly wisdom. Please join me in welcoming our esteemed resource person, Dr. Harsh Purohit, sir. Thank you, sir, and over to you. Thank you.
Many thanks to you, Dr. Seema ji, Dr. Alka Mishra ji. Dr. Alka ji, you are at Dev Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya, Haridwar?
Ji, sir. Ji, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So, Professor Chinmay Pandya ji is
yes, Pro-Vice Chancellor of the university.
Yes, very, very closely associated. And I would say that he has a tremendous impact in the entire world.
Yes, sir.
And at many places, whenever we go, we discuss about him. We also quote him as well, because
Yes.
there has been excellent addition to the knowledge that comes from his side, and
Yes.
particularly now the emphasis of Government of India also on the Indian knowledge system.
Yes.
And here, a lot of things that we read from our ancient literature and history, these become relevant. But I think there is he is a treasure of knowledge, and uh, many a times the things that he mentions in the videos become useful for us, and we too take it up eventually in the time. So please do convey my best regards to him. He's a fantastic person, and so much always to learn from him.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It's my great pleasure to see you and to join you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, yes. So I thank the university for inviting me, and particularly Professor Beena ji reached out to me to discuss. So it's a pleasure to be here, and I would like that there should be some interaction while we discuss today. We have a discussion till 6 p.m. today. So I think if I just speak and you listen, then that's not possible because the attention span, as we all know as teachers, is always less, whether somebody is a student or somebody is a teacher. We are all the human beings. So, thereby, I think it's good that in between, maybe we have some interaction, some questions, etc. So while we make a start, if anyone in the group would just like to mention that till now this refresher course that has taken place, if you would like to mention something that has been really very good learning for you, or what are those things which you look forward to learn in this refresher course some days more that you have right now with you. तो आप यदि इसमें अपने विचार कुछ बताना चाहें तो आप कृपया बताइए, तो पहले उससे प्रारंभ करते हैं और उसके बाद में फिर जो मैं आपसे बात करना चाहता हूँ, मैं उसके बाद में मेरी वार्ता जो है इसके बाद में मैं प्रारंभ करूंगा। तो सबसे पहले आपसे मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ, आप कुछ कहना चाहें तो।
सर, हमने इस कोर्स में ई लर्निंग से रिलेटेड ई कंटेंट बनाना, हाउ टू मेक द मुक वीडियो स्वयं, अ, उसके बाद कल महाज्ञान स्वयं, उसके बारे में पढ़ा। और हर रोज हमें जो है टेक्निकली भी चीज़ें बताई जा रही है और उसके साथ सोर्सेज भी बताए जा रहे हैं, जैसे कि आज ओपन एजुकेशन सोर्सेज पे भी एक लेक्चर हुआ हमारा। तो ऐसे कवर किया है पर्टिकुलरली फॉर द ई लर्निंग ई कंटेंट मुक स्वयं ऐसे।
ओके। तो आप ये सब आपने जो अभी सभी एक्सपर्ट्स ने आपसे बात किया है, तो उसके बाद में आप में से कुछ को लगता है कि आप आने वाले समय में कुछ मूक्स डेवलप करना चाहेंगे स्वयं प्लेटफॉर्म पे?
यस सर,
Yes,
डेफिनेटली।
sir, we will try. Yeah.
डेफिनेटली।
ओके।
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
तो देखिए, मेरा जो एक्सपीरियंस रहा है ये ऑनलाइन लर्निंग में, तो वो ये रहा है कि जब ये वीडियोस बनते हैं तो वीडियोस में जो हमारा कंटेंट है वो तो अच्छा होना चाहिए, लेकिन जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ वीडियोस में है वो ये है कि जो जो हमारा सेशन का ऑब्जेक्टिव है उससे रिलेटेड जो कंसेप्चुअल चीज़ें हैं वो सभी को बहुत अच्छी तरह से क्लियर हो जानी चाहिए। क्योंकि यदि थोड़ा सा कंसेप्चुअली चीज़ें क्लियर होती हैं तो उससे आगे जो उसका व्यक्ति का जो लर्निंग है वो रिलेटिवली इजी हो जाता है। और यदि कंसेप्चुअल चीज़ें पर्सन को क्लियर नहीं होंगी तो फिर वो उसमें आगे कुछ ना पढ़ पाएगा और ना उसका इंटरेस्ट आएगा। तो ये एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है, वो मैं क्यों बता रहा हूँ। जैसे आपने किसी भी टॉपिक पे यदि आपने वीडियो आपने बनाया है और उसमें आप ये बताने का कोशिश उसमें कर रहे हैं कि देखिए मेरी जानकारी ये चीज़ों की है और मेरे पास ये डेटा है, और आपने सब उसमें आप उसमें बोलते जा रहे हैं, एक के बाद एक बोलते जा रहे हैं, तो उससे पर्पस सर्व नहीं होगा। उससे यदि व्यक्ति को जो आपका कोर आइडिया है, यदि वो कोर आइडिया नहीं समझ में आएगा तो वो जस्ट उसको महज खाना पूर्ति के लिए, फॉर्मेलिटी के लिए आपके वीडियो को देखेगा और उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं करेगा। ये एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है। इसके साथ दूसरी चीज ये भी इंपॉर्टेंट है कि जो भी उसमें स्पीकर है, वो जो स्पीकर है उसका जो ऑडियो हो वो बिल्कुल क्लियर होना चाहिए। अ, ये इस पर्पज से भी है कि यदि आपका ऑडियो क्लियर नहीं होगा तो जो ऑडियंस में जो पर्सन है उसको समझ नहीं आएगा। इसके अलावा ये भी है कि आप देखिए कि जो ऑनलाइन मीडिया है, उस ऑनलाइन मीडिया में जो स्पीकर का वीडियो है वो काफी सारे और वीडियो से एक तरह से compete कर रहा है। क्योंकि अब जैसे मान लीजिए हम टेलीविजन पे कुछ देखते हैं तो हमारा एक्सपेक्टेशन रहता है कि जो साउंड हो वो बिल्कुल क्लियर हो, फ्लॉलेस हो, कोई उसमें नॉइज नहीं हो, कुछ नहीं हो। तो ये चीज यदि मान लीजिए जब आप स्वयं पे वीडियो बना रहे हैं, यदि ये चीज उसमें आती है तो उससे जो ऑडियंस है उसका कंसंट्रेशन कम रहेगा, और कंसंट्रेशन कम रहेगा तो आपका इम्पैक्ट जो है वो कम रहेगा। और एक तीसरी चीज इसमें यह है कि आपके वीडियो के साथ में कुछ ग्राफिक्स भी साथ में हो सकते हैं जो साथ में आप दिखा सकते हैं। और आपका जो वीडियो है उसमें बीच बीच में क्या करिए कि आपका जो वीडियो है वो वीडियो ऑफ करके उसके साथ में कोई एनिमेशन दिखाइए, या कोई और एक्टिविटी का वीडियो उसमें डाल दीजिए, लेकिन बैकग्राउंड में वॉइस आपकी ही चलती रहे। फिर कुछ सुटेबल उसमें आप म्यूजिक के नोट्स भी यूज कर सकते हैं। जो चीजें आपको लगता है आपने कुछ कही हैं और जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हैं, उनको आप जब बोल रहे हैं तो उसके साथ में वो स्क्रीन के ऊपर टेक्स्ट फॉर्म में फ्लैश भी कर सकती हैं। तो मेरा जो अनुभव रहा है, क्योंकि एक मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन का अर्पित प्रोग्राम था जिसमें ट्रेनिंग द टीचर्स ये प्रोग्राम था, और हमारा जो टास्क था वो मैनेजमेंट, कॉमर्स, इकोनॉमिक्स के टीचर्स के लिए था। तो हमने काफ़ी उसमें टीचर्स को इसमें इंक्लूड किया और काफ़ी लोगों ने इस प्रोग्राम्स को किया। तो उसके करने के दौरान ये हमारे अनुभव थे, तो वो इसलिए मैंने आपसे ये चीज़ें शेयर किया। और एक और इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज इससे रिलेटेड जो है वो ये है कि अ, आपका जो टॉक है उसके अंदर एक कंटिन्यूटी होनी चाहिए। यदि जो ऑडियंस है उनको ये लगता है कि अ, अभी तो जो बात है इस चीज पे हो रही थी, अचानक बात चेंज हो गई, तो उससे भी ऑडियंस जो है आपके सेशन में अटेंटिव कम रहेगा। तो ये थोड़ा सा जो आपने बताया उससे रिलेटेड है। अ, अब देखिए मेरा जो एरिया है वो बेसिकली, जैसे आपको पता है कि मेरा एरिया बिजनेस मैनेजमेंट, फाइनेंस, लॉ, ये एरिया है। तो ये अर्पित प्रोग्राम में जो हमने जो ऑनलाइन वीडियो स्वयं पे बनाए थे, तो ये ऑल इंडिया उस समय टॉप 10 में आया था। और इसको मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन के जो सेक्रेटरी हैं उन्होंने भी सोशल मीडिया पे ट्वीट किया था कि जो बनस्थली का जो अर्पित ऑनलाइन प्रोग्राम है ये टॉप 10 में आया है। तो वो जो हुआ तो उसके पीछे जो रीजन था वो ये था कि हमने इन चीज़ों का सबका बारीकी से ध्यान रखा। और परहैप्स ये एक बहुत बड़ा रीजन था कि टॉप 10 में हमारा ये प्रोग्राम उसमें आया था। तो अब मेरा एरिया जो है उससे रिलेटेड मैं आपसे क्या बात करूंगा। देखिए मैं आपसे बात करूंगा कि जो आईसीटी टूल्स में जो एआई है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस है, उनको आप कैसे यूज कर सकते हैं फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ वीडियोस एक्सेट्रा। जो एआई टूल्स हैं उनका डेमो तो मेरे लिए देना पॉसिबल नहीं है, लेकिन वो टूल्स कौन से हैं वो मैं बात करूंगा। और इसके अलावा जो ऑनलाइन कंटेंट क्रिएशन है उसमें मैं आपसे उसको इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम से लिंक करते हुए बात करूंगा। तो एक तो ये मेरा जो फर्स्ट टॉक है उसमें फोकस जो ऑनलाइन जो कंटेंट है उसके अंदर इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम से रिलेटेड हम क्या कर सकते हैं उस पे होगा। फिर जो मेरा सेकंड टॉक होगा इसके बाद में, फर्स्ट टॉक के बाद में हम 5 मिनट्स का एक ब्रेक रख लेंगे, उसके बाद में हम सेकंड टॉक करेंगे। तो जो सेकंड टॉक होगा उसमें जो मेरा कोर एरिया है, जिसमें मुझे लगता है कि आपको कुछ बेनिफिट मुझसे हो सकता है, वो है पर्सनल फाइनेंस। देखिए, हम सभी टीचर्स हैं। हम सभी को हमारा जो वित्तीय प्रबंधन है उसको अच्छे से करना, व्यक्तिगत स्तर पे भी करना बहुत आवश्यक हो जाता है। सो फॉर डूइंग इंडिविजुअल पर्सनल फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग इन अ गुड वे, it is essential that we know about personal finance. Now, how do you link the personal finance to the ICT? So, if someone would like to make some online content related to personal finance, which is useful for the audience, whether someone is from the field of commerce or economics, or even from the side of language, or would like to take an IKS perspective if someone is from history, so then also one can work in the area of personal finance, because these days we talk about interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary aspects when it comes to our learning. तो मैंने आपको थोड़ा सा ये बताया कि मेरा जो ये आज दो टॉक्स हैं वो किस बारे में है। जो मेरा फर्स्ट टॉक है उसका पीपीटी मैंने ऑलरेडी प्रोफेसर बीना जी से शेयर कर दिया है, और मुझे उसमें कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं है यदि वो पीपीटी एडिटेबल फॉर्म में आप सभी से शेयर की जाए, और यदि आप उसको किसी भी तरह से एडिट करके यूज भी करना चाहते हैं तो मुझे बहुत प्रसन्नता होगी। So I will now share my screen and then come to what I'm here to discuss. So please give me a moment. तो आप सबको क्या मेरा पीपीटी विजिबल है?
Visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
visible.
thank you very much. So I consider myself privileged to be part of this refresher course, and look forward to good interaction with all of you. In particular, my gratitude to the university for making me part of this revolution, because I think getting opportunity to interact with teachers is really very exciting. And in particular, Professor Dr. Beena ji, I am thankful who invited me for this program. And of course, I'm pretty sure that there are many more members and colleagues who are the part of this, and they all are very well acknowledged. So, friends, I would talk about the unique concepts related to our IKS in this talk, and the way in which we can link ICT, the information and communication technology, which is now reshaping the education. And also, I would like to talk about how some new concepts designed using the ICT in the platform of IKS can help to tackle the challenges in the dynamic environment. Now, compared to the earlier times, the digital media and ICT are very much the part of our life. Today, whether it is students or whether we talk about teachers, everyone has something or the other to quote from the digital media. I remember when I was uh, studying as a student in my college somewhere 1995 6. So during that time, the only digital media which we were looking at was the television. Apart from that, it was all what we used to read in the print media, and through that, the learning used to take place. But today, the social media also is there. However, the only thing that we all as teachers, we know that the problem with the social media is that things are not that much reliable, particularly the ones which are circulated through WhatsApp, etc. So this is indeed a challenge. But apart from this, often the teachers during their sessions are able to show some video clip that they have taken from the Twitter, or they have taken from LinkedIn, or they have taken from Instagram, etc., to their students, and thereby they try to put across their point. Uh, Even now, uh, the sessions that we take in the classroom, those sessions also, if we have the um, uh, opportunity to use the PowerPoint and the sound system facilities are there. So just in case we have these facilities, then in that case, in our session, just in order to break the monotony, we can sometimes take up the session in which we show some video of a prominent expert in our session, and then initiate a discussion. So when we talk about pedagogy, which is the core theme here, so I think using the ICT, the pedagogy can undergo a transformational change. And uh, see, if you see the corporate sector, this work from home has become very popular. And similarly, if we talk about the education sector, which all of us are the part of the education sector, then we have to think about that in our day-to-day teaching. How can we make our classes more insightful and more interactive and more interesting? So, how can this happen? So, I have just given you an example that a teacher who is just taking a lecture and expecting that my students should take down whatever I say. And sometimes the teacher is mere an informer because the teacher is dictating the things which the teacher wants the student should write. So if it happens often that the teacher is dictating, then what is the use of the teacher? But in case we have the ICT tools available in our classroom, then in that case, we can make the entire learning very interesting. And it is not just how we deliver our session. I have given you an example. But apart from that, even this can happen that you can record the discussion by students, and that discussion is then um given to an AI software, and the AI software then tells you that how good the discussion is in the terms of quality. So when it comes to delivering the talk, ICT is helpful. When it comes to examining, ICT is helpful. Uh, you might be all aware about the emphasis that is now given to the outcome-based education. And thereby, you all know that in our institutes, there has been a massive exercise to identify the program objectives, uh, program outcomes, course outcomes. And then the question paper is also designed based on the PO and CO. And the marks that the students obtain, these marks are then uh, taken up in a quantitative fashion to find out what is the overall attainment that the student has done, and thereby has the student actually learned or not, what are those things the student has done better. So all that reflecting on the Bloom's taxonomy can be taken up, and this all calculation also is done using the software MS Excel. So what I mean to say is that the ICT has become an integral part now as far as our entire um, curriculum, etc., teaching, learning, etc., is concerned. So this is what I thought is the most important thing I should talk about to you. So the unique pedagogy of teaching that we talk about, of course, as I mentioned at the bottom of the slide, ICT for continuous learning, because things would keep evolving with time. The things will keep evolving. The kind of online facilities that we have available today, they were completely unheard maybe 4 years, 5 years back. But I can tell you that very soon we will have a tool whereby uh, we can record one or two videos of ours. The software is uh, quite aware about our voice and what way we react to something, our physical expressions, and thereby you give some content to the software, and that AI software will generate a new video for you on a topic about which you have not spoken at all till now. And you can record that video, you can edit that video, and then share it online, or you can even show to your students on a PPT, or that is on a laptop, or using the LCD projector also. Um, uh, so that's why sometimes it is talked about. And yesterday I was at a very big ICT forum in Mumbai. So there were a lot of talks. I met some teachers. So there were discussions that will teachers become redundant uh, because of artificial intelligence. तो बात इस पे हुआ था कि अभी एआई के टूल्स वगैरह सब आ जाएंगे, तो विशेषकर जो नॉन गवर्नमेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं, तो यदि उनको रेगुलेशंस ये परमिट करें कि आप कम टीचर्स से भी अपना काम चला सकते हैं, तो यदि मान लीजिए वो रोबोट्स को क्लासरूम में भेज दें जो आपकी क्लासेस लेते हैं, तो उसका क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा, लर्निंग किस तरह से होगी। तो उसमें कई चीज़ें, देखिए इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ें भी आती हैं। अब जैसे आपको ये तो पता ही है कि अब ड्राइवरलेस कार्स आ गई हैं। तो अब आ, यदि कार में कोई ड्राइवर नहीं भी है तो भी वो गाड़ी चल सकती है। तो क्या ऐसा क्लासरूम हो सकता है जिसमें टीचर नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी वो क्लासरूम में लर्निंग हो रही है? तो ये पॉसिबल है। तो रोबोट्स आजकल सब जगह अपना काम कर रहे हैं, तो यहाँ भी आ सकते हैं। और जो रोबोट्स हैं वो अ, उनका जो फंक्शनिंग होगी वो डिफरेंट तरह से होगी। और यदि किसी स्टूडेंट ने कहा कि ये चीज़ मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही, आप तो मुझे ये चीज़ कहानी के थ्रू समझाओ, तो टीचर के लिए इमीडिएटली इस तो स्टोरी क्रिएट करना पॉसिबल नहीं होता है। लेकिन जो रोबोट है वो तो इमीडिएटली क्रिएट करके उस चीज़ को स्टोरी फॉर्म में भी समझा देगा। किसी ने कहा कि ये तो मुझे जो है डेटा के थ्रू समझ नहीं है, आप मुझे बताइए कि किस तरह से जो जो हमारे पास में डेटा है, उस
ते
जो
काय त्याने
नंबर्स
आता
हैं,
कॉलेजमध्ये
जो हमारे पास डेटा है या हमारे पास जो नंबर्स हैं, उनको यूज करते हुए मुझे ये कंसेप्ट समझाओ, तो इमीडिएटली रोबोट वो भी कर देगा। तो कहने का अर्थ ये है कि आने वाले समय में
आणि आपली
पर्टिकुलरली
क्लासेस
नॉन
राहते
गवर्नमेंट, थोड़ा सा अनुरोध है कि आप यदि आपको कुछ कहना है तो आप थोड़ा अलग से बाद में कहें, या जब हम उसका बीच में कुछ ब्रेक लेते हैं तब कहें, बीच में मत आप प्लीज। So the thing is that the robots are going to transform the entire teaching space. So the unique pedagogy of teaching includes ICT, of course, which is the focus of the talk. But along with this, all these things also come up. Learning by stories, तो आपको पंचतंत्र हितोपदेश, इसके बारे में आपको पता है कि किस तरह से इनको उपयोग में लिया गया, और उसके द्वारा जो ज्ञान जो है वो दिया गया जिनको उसकी आवश्यकता थी। Leading by example with critical and constructive approach, this you can find by the lifestyle of the teachers, the gurus. Simple living and high thinking, I think this was quite prevalent in the ancient gurukuls. And through that, they were able to make a very meaningful impact on the students. So, friends, coming to what are those free AI-based tools which can be used for video creation? So these tools can be used, and it has been seen that the conventional way in which the tools are used, these tools uh, indeed do better and are quite helpful. So what are these tools? So now again, I would like to mention that this PPT will be shared with all of you. So please do not take down what you see on the slides, but try to listen to what I say. And then when we have the suitable opportunity, then please give your views, ask your questions, make your comments, make your suggestions, and so on. We will keep a good amount of time for discussion. AnyMaker AI. So this tool helps you to create videos. And also there are many more facilities like voiceover, subtitles, music also you can add, and these are all free AI tools. Then there is a tool called as Runway. Uh, this also helps in the same way as the AnyMaker AI helps. But the only point is that people are comfortable with different kind of tools. So they are both of these are doing the same kind of thing. And same is another tool called as Lumen 5 that can also help you to create videos. But the advantage in Lumen 5 is that you can create videos from text prompts. So text prompts mean that whatever topic on which you want to make the video, you just give the keywords to the software, some important words. Then the software will link those words, and from those words, the software will create a video. So, for example, if you want that the chapter 2 of your book, you want to make a video on this, then related to that chapter 2, whatever is the field, whether it is history or social science, so related to that, you can give the important words which are the part of the chapter. And based on those words, the software will link them and will create an animation video. So this can also be possible. Now, talking about some free AI tools for designing the online examination, because these days people would like to save time by examining students in an online way. So there can be various ways you can give a short answer type question to someone, or there can be a multiple answer question. So objective type, as we commonly talk about. So there are free AI tools which help in designing the online examination as well. So these are some examples. One is Edpuzzle. So this Edpuzzle tool helps to create interactive questions and quizzes. And the advantage of this Edpuzzle is that if you want to know that how well the student is doing as far as the class performance is concerned, if you are giving some marks, etc., to the student, the AI software can do the tracking of that and then can give you a report also of all the students together. Or if you want to know that the students uh, whose profile is so and so, how is their performance? So that kind of sorting also you can do. Kahoot is one more AI tool. Uh, and the advantage of Kahoot these days is that it helps you in managing quizzes. So these days, a lot of time we are talking about uh, evaluating the students through the quiz also. So here this Kahoot helps, and many online quiz competitions which are organized, they are based on Kahoot. And also several physically administered quiz competitions also. What happens is that the students are asked to log in on a particular portal, so they get registered, and then they are asked to come in a common hall, then they are asked to take up the quiz online. and based on the performance of the students, the screen, that is the LCD projector which you have in the classroom, on that LCD projector it is live demonstrated that based on the answers given by the students, who is at which position and who is winning and who is losing. So that is very interesting, and many quiz competitions are done using the Kahoot. Then there is a Quizlet. Quizlet is also used for quizzes, but apart from that, in Kahoot, it is only related to quiz. Quizlet also gives you opportunity that if you want the answer to be one line or one word or a short answer, so that also can be interpreted by the AI and it can give the result. However, the problem with Quizlet right now is that it is not that much reliable when it comes to the short answer types because it's anyway a machine which is learning. So sometimes it does not give the good results. But if you ask me out of these three, which has been most reliable in the terms of quiz, I would say Kahoot is the one which is the most reliable. Similarly, there are many more. I mean, quizzes is there. Uh, uh, this also helps you to design the questions. If you give the content, then it will design the question for you. And then there is open ad also. Uh, Again, it also does the same thing. The thing is that which one you are more comfortable with, and sometimes uh, when you use these tools, at that time you find that beyond a point, it is asking you to pay some amount. So it is free only till some extent. So the moment you find it, you can switch to some other tool. Uh, so one very good tool is CK12. So CK12 also is getting very popular in the terms of designing interactive questions and quizzes. And dear friends, these all AI tools which I talked about, they are not just confined to let's say management or law. You can do that in multiple areas, provided there is content with you or the content is very freely available elsewhere. So based on that, the AI tool in a very short span of time can help. Also, in the terms of research, also when you are doing research, there also the AI tools are there, and I'm pretty sure you must be knowing about it, that how you can use. But the chat GPT which is used, not many know that there is a paid version also of chat GPT. So when this paid version is used, the results will be much better compared to the non-paid version of ChatGPT. So that is one thing that is there. Second is that now many journals in which you try to publish your papers, they allow you to use the AI tools. They don't forbid you. वो आपको मना नहीं करते AI tools के थ्रू आप पेपर्स मत लिखो. लेकिन वो ये कहते हैं कि उसके साथ आपको डिक्लेरेशन देना पड़ेगा कि ये AI टूल को यूज करते हुए पेपर लिखा है, तो इस पूरे कंटेंट की जिम्मेदारी मेरी है. ये वो आपसे लेते हैं. वो इसलिए ज़रूरी होता है कि कई बार क्या होता है कि एआई जो है वो गलत रेफरेंसेस अपने आप जनरेट करने लग जाता है, जो रेफरेंस है ही नहीं उसको जनरेट करके और उस बेसिस पे वो अपना आउटकम दे देता है. तो ये इससे इसको चेक करना तो काफ़ी मुश्किल है. तो इसलिए जर्नल्स ये कहते हैं कि आपको ये सर्टिफाई करना पड़ेगा कि जो भी आपने एआई अपने रिसर्च पेपर में यूज़ किया है उस के पूरे कंटेंट के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी केवल आपकी. तो देखिए, अभी तक हमने बात किया कि जो आप ऑनलाइन वीडियोस बनाते हैं उसमें एनिमेशन करना हो तो एआई टूल्स कौन से हैं. आपको ऑनलाइन एग्जामिनेशन करना हो तो भी आप कर सकते हैं. और मैंने आपको ऑनलाइन रिसर्च पेपर्स का भी बात किया कि आप ऑनलाइन टूल्स को यूज़ करके आप रिसर्च पेपर्स को भी और बेहतर बना सकते हैं. डू यू नो दैट देर आर सॉफ्टवेयर्स लाइक ग्रामरली विच विल नॉट जस्ट check the language, that if there is some error in the language and grammar, then they will prompt to you. But another thing is that if you have some content that you have taken from AI tools, then even if you have taken some content from the AI tools, the Grammarly software or other software, they can help you to humanize it. That is, whatever way the um, the article has come up from using the AI, when you humanize it, then the language will change, and that language, so that particular language content, if someone checks using the Turnitin software, Turnitin is a software used for plagiarism check, as many of you might be aware. So when you check the content on any anti-plagiarism, on any plagiarism checking software, then the software will not be able to detect this, that this content has come not through a human being. So all these kind of things are possible today.
Yes, sir. Perplexity is also there, which is asking you that whether you have to write the paper as human.
Yes, Dr. Kundan, absolutely right. What is your area, Dr. Kundan?
Sir, I am from analytical chemistry. Chemistry is my area. Supramolecular chemistry I am dealing with.
Okay, okay, fantastic, fantastic area. So I think there are a lot of Scopus paper opportunities also in chemistry. The lab experiments, etc., that you do, they can come up in the form of research papers also. So
Yes.
now the journals, they are looking for good papers, but now they are fine if your research paper has been made using the AI tool. And even if it is made, you can again change it, as you mentioned about perplexity also. So yes, very correct. Anyone else at this juncture would like to share some experience, ask a question?
Sir,
Uh,
quiz is nowadays called as Wayground. It is renamed.
huh, huh, yes, yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
And one more animated software is shared by one resource person. That is
Hmm,
Plotagon. It
okay.
is it is making some animated videos like WhatsApp avatar. We can make that.
Yes. So imagine, as Dr. Kundan has also mentioned, imagine the life of a teacher after 2, 3 years, because these tools are going to get more and more popular with the time. And when they get more popular, then in that context, you will find that everyone would be using it, and the entire classroom environment may change. The only thing that might create a trouble is the infrastructure that is available to the teacher in the classroom. तो यदि ये सब चीज़ों को पता होने के बावजूद यदि जो कंसर्न टीचर है उसके पास में क्लासरूम में उससे रिलेटेड जो हार्डवेयर जो रहना चाहिए, इक्विपमेंट रहना चाहिए, वो यदि नहीं है, तब फिर उसमें कुछ काम कर पाना थोड़ा मुश्किल होता है। और दूसरा ये रहता है, स्टूडेंट्स का जो मैच्योरिटी लेवल है वो हमेशा कम ही रहेगा, और आने वाले समय में तो और वो डिटैरेटिव होगा। तो आप ये भी नहीं सोच सकते कि ठीक है, मेरे पास में एलसीडी प्रोजेक्टर नहीं है तो क्या हुआ। मैं स्टूडेंट्स को कहता हूँ कि ये कंटेंट अभी इमीडिएटली अपना मोबाइल फोन निकाल के देखिए और उसके साथ साथ में मुझसे डिस्कस कीजिए, और हम इस तरह से सभी लोग मिलकर डिस्कस करते हैं। प्रॉब्लम ये होगा कि यदि क्लासरूम में मान लीजिए 50 स्टूडेंट्स हैं, आपने सबको कहा कि मोबाइल पे आप ये सर्च कीजिए और अपन इसको डिस्कस करते हैं, तो कुछ तो स्टूडेंट्स आपस में बातचीत शुरू कर देंगे, कुछ जो है मोबाइल पे अपना व्हाट्सएप चेक करना शुरू कर देंगे। तो जो मैच्योरिटी है, जो उनकी तरफ से जो उनका डिसिप्लिन होना चाहिए, वो थोड़ा सा नहीं रहता है, और वो उसके कारण जो है कई चीज़ें जो हम करना चाहते हैं वो हो नहीं पाती। So now that we have talked a bit about the ICT, and I have tried to give my thoughts on the online videos and the examination. Now I switch to IKS. So what are those kind of content, the underlying philosophy that we can talk about? So I believe that whatever is the area, um, in fact, particularly the management and commerce areas, which are my core areas. So Related to that, I find there is a lot of content which we can draw from our ancient literature. Often now, when we talk about things like leadership, for example, we draw things from Ramayana and Mahabharata. Similarly, the Indian freedom struggle is also taken up as a very good example of how to make strategy. So the ancient Indian wisdom has tremendous insights for new knowledge creation. And now the government of India also in the new education policy and now another division of Indian knowledge system has come up. And the government, again, just in a few days, there is a meeting called by UGC related to the progress that institutions are making related to IKS. So this is always on the cards. So the time has come now to move from Harvard to Haridwar because uh, it was all believed that all the new knowledge creation happens at Harvard, whether it comes to the social science or the humanities or management or even sciences. So it was believed that it is the Western world from which the new ideas come. But as our emphasis is now more on the consciousness and people are getting more aware of this and the advantage of um, um, synthesizing materialism with spirituality. So, so uh, now it's time to look at the Indian ideas as well. So that's why I feel that now it's the time to come from Harvard to Haridwar. So concepts from India can also go. So like it is said in Rig Veda that let noble thoughts come to us from all directions. So now I think things are turned to our side, and now India can also give its ideas and which can be used by rest of the world. Even though we know that a lot of ideas from India are rebranded, repackaged, and then sent to us, and uh, people across the world are given to believe that this idea is an original idea, but actually it is not there. And similarly, another change, the communists are now fading, and now uh, uh, that's also another thing that we find moving from Lal Salam to Jai Shri Ram. That's also happening. So, in this view,
Sir, can you please tell us which original Indian idea has been repackaged and
many,
presented
for
as a
example,
Western idea?
oh yes, yes, yes. Your good name?
Abhijit,
Yes, yes,
Abhijit.
yes, Abhijit ji. For example, some years back, some Japanese, won the Nobel Prize, in which they mentioned that when you keep fast, then it gives a lot of health benefits. And after a few days, even the cancer cells which we have in the body, so those cells are eaten up by the body because you are not feeding the body anything, and thereby one can regain the health. So autophagy that they talked about. So Nobel Prize was awarded to the Japanese. But if you see our ancient culture, then the concept of keeping the vrat and the upvas. So these are very much prevalent, and it is believed that these are good for health and also a kind of respect that you convey to God by doing this. And so this is also there in multiple religions where the merit of vrat or upvas it is felt. Even if you see Gandhiji also used to keep upvas and also he used to keep the Maun Vrat as well. So now, so that is one. Second is the yogasan, which has come back to us in the form of yoga. So people say with pride, I am doing yoga, but they would not say I am doing yogasan. because the word yoga has come from the US and the UK. So that way there are many, and uh, if you see our temple architecture, still there are many things people are not able to make out how this temple was made. So our ancient knowledge is a treasure, and the area in which I work, business management, we find lot of things which are there in the Bhagavad Gita, but they are repackaged and given a very sophisticated name, and they come to us from the Harvard Business School. So these are some examples, Abhijit ji, for you. So now, at this juncture, I would like to know your views that can you feel a consciousness revolution around you? Do you think that uh, people are much more inclined towards spirituality and consciousness now compared to the earlier time? Do you think that a change has come after COVID? What are your views?
Yes, sir, it is feeling like that. Most of the people inclined towards yogasan, as well as they are also willing to do some upasanas or some meditations. Or there are many people come with the manifestation or these things. So I feel that people are going for that.
Yes, Dr. Simaji, very correct. In fact, right
Sir,
now,
I would like to disagree. People are becoming very materialistic. Money
uh,
has become so important,
hmm,
and uh, people I mean, they are spending beyond their means, trying to live a good life. I don't know, maybe because the pandemic made them realize that life is ephemeral, and that is why I mean, it was the Black Death in the in the late medieval Europe, which inaugurated the age of humanism. So, and put religion on the back burner because people came to know that religion is not going to save them. So, I'm seeing that people are becoming more materialistic, more consumeristic, more selfish, and maybe they are becoming health conscious. It might not be all bad, but I
hmm.
don't see any real spirituality.
Yes, Abhijit ji. So that's
Peace
right.
of
But
mind is
uh,
always
hmm.
increased after the COVID, sir. I think so.
Yes, in fact, if you see, maybe I would talk about it in the next slides also. Uh, so, Western scientists, they have coined a term called as VUCA, VUCA, VUCA. VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So they say that we live in a VUCA world. Very popular term. Many universities are now announcing Center for VUCA studies, and conferences are also organized on this. But then if you see again our context of India, then there is a term. So if you don't know about VUCA, it's fine. But we all know about a term called as Kalyug. So as Abhijit ji was also mentioning that. So somebody can say, based on what Abhijit ji mentioned, that it is Kalyug, and Kalyug is getting deeper and deeper, slowly and slowly, but steadily. So that's what was his observation also, that people are getting more materialistic. The only point I want to make here is that at the same time, uh, at least things related to consciousness or spirituality or uh, good things in our culture, these things are finding more place now in the media compared to the earlier time. Maybe it can be that people are now more talking about it compared to what they were doing earlier. But yes, this is true that if we see the extreme form of Kali, so there are so many examples which are unbelievable and all. For example, a person aged 90 years marries a girl aged 30 years. This is happening in the US and a few countries. And now opposite things have also started happening, that a lady 70 years has married a boy who is 30 years or 35 years. So, I mean, these are some of the extreme examples that we find of the materialism and the Kali Yuga. But if we now, for a second, think about what is the extreme example of spirituality. So, materialism extreme we have talked about, but what about the extreme of the spirituality? So, there you find that the great uh, Indian sadhus, sages, rishis, they talk about the consciousness. And uh, one uh, bhajan also related to that uh, is there, in which uh, the great rishi mentions that when I do meditation, when I do dhyan, then towards the uh, end of my backbone, that is towards the bottom, at that point, I do the darshan of Bhagwan Ganesh. So that is the Mul Chakra, which is talked about in our ancient culture. And he says that if I come to the just opposite the front part of the body, just uh, at the bottom of the abdomen, then I do the darshan of Bhagwan Brahma there. Moving up, there is a darshan there because there is another chakra there. So there is the darshan of Bhagwan Krishna. In the heart, I can do the darshan of Bhagwan Shiv. In my throat, I do the darshan of Devi Mata. Then, just between my eyebrows, I can do the darshan of Bhagwan Surya. And towards the top of the head, I can feel a very divine light, uh, and that is the Param Brahma. And I believe that everyone is getting light from that supreme light. So that is the Param Brahma. And now the important thing is not just these. The great sage also now then says that my uh, uh, my inner form which I have experienced, I feel that after experiencing this, I don't find anything useful in the world. And I also am not able to make out that since God is inside me, then should whom I I should bow. तो मैं अपना जो माथा है किसके सामने झुकाऊं, क्योंकि भगवान तो मेरे अंदर है और उसको मैंने अनुभव भी कर लिया है. So you see, extreme form of materialism we talked about. Abhijit ji also mentioned that uh, the uh, the materialism is on the rise, but we should also be aware that what is the extreme of spirituality. So our ancient culture tells us that there is an opportunity that uh, humans may become God. Now, we have seen this in the previous slides that the unique pedagogy of teaching is concerned with learning by stories, learning by example, simple living, and high thinking. But there are few more things apart from this, and ICT also we discussed there. Maintaining a sattvic environment of learning. So here again, the researches show that when people are at mental peace, their learning is better. So whatever way in which there are any kind of distractions in the classroom, if we are able to get rid of them, and also the students have a good belief in the teacher and they admire and respect the teacher, then the learning will always be better. Also, the new education policy also talks about a holistic approach for development of personality. Uh, and talking about the university where I am, Vanasthali Vidyapeeth, here our learning model is called as five-fold education system, that is Panchamukhi Shiksha, in which there is physical, practical, aesthetic, moral, and intellectual. These are the five components that we have for our five-fold education system. And we were very happy when we gave our suggestion to the ministry that the new education policy should consider the holistic development of students. So that was considered, and this is being talked about. And also a belief in a fourfold mode of learning, a multi-channel learning, which I would talk about, that how the learning take place, because we are talking about pedagogy and the reflections of the ICT. So, dear friends, this shlok is a very, very interesting and important shlok, which gives us inputs. And when we talk about pedagogy, if it is known to well known to the teachers can design their entire classes, etc., on these lines. So, what this shlok says, the shlok is with you, you can see that. So, the shlok says that whatever a student is learning, 25% of that comes from the classroom. That is when you are delivering your talk to the students. It is other thing that how much the student is attentive during that time. But 1/4 of the learning comes from the teacher. That is when the teacher is interacting in the classroom. Another 25% comes through own intelligence. Now here you see own intelligence is so important. Now we are talking about artificial intelligence also coming up, and well, you don't know that when we talk about the artificial intelligence, what way it is going to take us in the future. But just like people who are using the calculator extensively, then they stop doing the manual calculation. And even if they have to add 10 to 15, तो 10 और 15 को जोड़ने के लिए भी उनको कैलकुलेटर की जरूरत है, और उससे धीरे धीरे करके कैलकुलेटर पे जो निर्भरता है वो बढ़ गई. तो अब ये आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के आने से हम हमारे इंटेलिजेंस को कितना यूज कर रहे हैं, क्या वो कम होता जाएगा? तो यदि वो कम होता है तो जो लर्निंग मॉडल जो हमारे एंशियंट टेक्स्ट्स में दिया हुआ है, उस लर्निंग मॉडल के अनुसार लर्निंग अच्छी नहीं होगी. तो ये एक जो है थोड़ा समस्या का समस्या का विषय है. सो 1/4 ऑफ द लर्निंग कम्स फ्रॉम द ओन इंटेलिजेंस, 1/4 फ्रॉम क्लासमेट्स. जैसे हम लोग सब टीचर्स हैं तो हम लोग पीयर लर्निंग की भी बात करते हैं. हम हमेशा अपने स्टूडेंट्स को कहते हैं कि देखो तुम लोग आपस में भी इससे रिलेटेड डिस्कस किया करो, तुमने कुछ न्यूज़ पढ़ा उसको डिस्कस करो. आज मैंने तुम्हें मिडाइवल पीरियड के बारे में बताया है, तो अब इसके बारे में तुम लोग आपस में डिस्कस करो, और उसमें तुमको क्या चीज़ें क्लियर नहीं हो रही हैं वो चीज़ें भी आपस में बात करो. तो आपस में बात करके ही तुम्हें कई चीज़ें क्लियर हो जाएंगी. ये एक एग्जाम्पल है. ये चीज़ हर डिसिप्लिन में है, चाहे साइंसेस में भी हो. तो डिस्कशन यदि विद्यार्थी आपस में करते हैं किसी भी चीज़ पे, तो उनको कई पॉइंट्स उसमें क्लियर होते हैं एक दूसरे से भी, और डिस्कस करने से उनका उस कॉन्सेप्ट पे जो ग्रिप है वो और बेहतर हो जाता है. So our ancient culture says that 25% of the learning comes from the classmates and 25% with time. देखिए ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है इस सेंस में कि जो बात करते हैं हम थ्योरी प्रैक्टिस गैप की, तो थ्योरी प्रैक्टिस गैप तो हमेशा रहेगा, लेकिन कुछ चीज़ें जो स्टूडेंट है वो समय के साथ भी सीखेगा. तो ये देखिए हमारा जो एंशंट मॉडल है लर्निंग का, इस मॉडल को यदि हम हमारे पेडागोगी से लिंक करके और उसके साथ में आईसीटी को लिंक करके अपना जो ओवरऑल हमारा जो भी क्लासरूम में या उसके बाहर जो भी हम हमारी डिलीवरी है हम उसको उससे लिंक करते हैं, तो हर कोई चाहता है कि हम हमारी इफेक्टिवनेस बेहतर हो. So if we want to be an effective teacher, if we want to continuously improve on our effectiveness, then if we consider this model and in view of this model, if we design our interventions, I think things are going to be much better. And already, when I discuss about this stroke in other such kind of programs also, then I get a feedback that there are few things that came to the mind of the teacher that yes, in view of this, I can start doing this, and thereby the learning of my student will become little better. So the applications can be that is the applications of using the Indian ideas and the thoughts for better life and learning. So they are related to spirituality, work life, managing money also. So managing money I will be discussing in the next session, and maybe that would be interest to all of us because all of us want to manage our money in a better way. And when we talk about spirituality, here are a few lines. I think before we start with the discussions, I think that's where maybe we can take a pause over here. So if you just listen to these words, Om Bhatshu Guptanande, that is the secret happiness which is inside us. If we remember God in this form, Om Har Shiv Nityanande, the regular happiness that is there inside us. जो कोई भजन करे मन लाके कट जाए यम फंदे. मैं मेरा यही मोह हुआ अर्जुन को रण मध्य. So that is when we talk about the Bhagavad Gita. So Arjun was a little puzzled. उड़ा ज्ञान गीता का सुन लख समधानी संधे. तो भगवान ने उन्हें भगवत गीता का उपदेश दिया और उनके जो भी उनकी शंकाएं थी उसका निवारण किया. So there can be many more examples you can quote whereby the inclination towards spirituality can be enhanced. And I think today, if the teachers also try from their side that whatever way they can give a kind of peaceful environment in the classroom, then I think prayers, the different kind of prayers, have a role to play in making the classroom environment more sattvic. I will just skip this. Yes, this is important. We talked about the consciousness also. See, if we go to the philosophy, then there is a Charvak darshan which is talked about. So Charvak darshan is about lower order purpose of happiness or lower order purpose of existence. If you see LOPE full form, so lower order purpose of existence. Then there can be a medium order purpose of existence where we get a little more conscious towards the society, being kind to the animals, plants. Uh, then there can be a higher order purpose of existence in which the inclination towards spirituality is more. But then there can be also a ultra higher order purpose of existence. Ultra higher order purpose of existence is the one in which one becomes a guru. But dear teachers, there is a difference between a teacher and a guru. So the only the guru can take the disciple or the student to the ultimate purpose of life, that is oneness with God. So, in common language, we use the term guru, but actually, the guru is the one for which it is said, Bhav Sagar se kar grahi, kare parli param, Om Jai 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 Gurudev. It is further said, Dhyan Moolam Guru Murti. So, in the best of the meditation will be the one in which you do the dhyan, the meditation, remembering your guru. But again, that guru is the one who has the potential, who has the capability to ensure oneness with God. ध्यान मूलम गुरु मूर्ति, पूजा मूलम गुरु पदम, mantra moolam guru vakyam, moksha moolam guru kripa. So we are talking about the mooks, but our Indian tradition also talks about moksha. So uh, moksha moolam guru kripa, that is the oneness with God, can happen with the grace of the guru. So the guru is on the ultra higher order purpose of existence stage. So the crux of this slide is that it is said that the purpose of life is life of purpose. But the question is, what is the purpose? So, are you on the LOP? Are you on the MOP? Are you on the HOP? Are you aware of UHOP? So, this is, I would say, you can say a train that is going from LOP to UHOP. So, very few passengers will be left at the UHOP station. Some will not board the train, somebody will get down at MOP railway station, some at HOP railway station. And finally, in this talk, VUCA, we talked about volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So this VUCA, I have observed that the term Kalyug is bigger concept than the VUCA. And owing to this, there are so many things which we can see over here prevalent, and we can talk about these. So since VUCA doesn't capture whatever is happening around us, so I have added to this VUCA two more letters, N and W, where N stands for nature apathy. For example, in the parties, you can see that people waste as much as food as they eat. This is an example of nature apathy, excessive use of plastic. Many more examples. In fact, the very big lesson that Bhagwan Krishna gave to Mata Draupadi, that she should use each and every grain which is available with her. So nature apathy is one thing we witness, and also wisdomlessness. And we are not able to make out why this person is doing such thing. It is so harmful. Why this is being done? So wisdomlessness is also prevalent. And so the next step to this is the solution. And that comes through sustainability, which we talk about. People talk about the Sustainable Development Goals also, which the United Nations has given. But also faith for blessings, or which somebody may equate with devotion or our respect to God, bhakti, all these things, terms can be used. So now this VUCA becomes VUCA NWSF. So this is an extension to VUCA that I did few years back. And this SF which I talked about is also reflected through Bhagavad Gita, where I have tried to capture some points of Bhagavad Gita through a ABCD model, which you can tell your students also, because this way it is easy to remember some of the things mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. This is also there on my Twitter handle, that Bhagavad Gita talks about a person to be one of action, benevolence. Benevolence means keeping gratitude. आजकल हम देखते हैं आपके लिए किसी ने कुछ किया तो फिर हम उसको भूल जाते हैं जल्दी. या किसी व्यक्ति को जब काम है तब तो हमारे पास वो बार बार आता है, जब उसका उसका मतलब निकल जाता है तो भूल जाता है। बट अवर कल्चर टॉक्स अबाउट ग्रेटिट्यूड, कंटिन्यूअस ग्रेटिट्यूड, करेज। कुछ अच्छा कर रहे हैं, आपको लगता है अच्छा है, ये करना चाहिए, तो हैव करेज। डिवोशन, इमोशनल डिटैचमेंट। सो ये ABCD हो जाता है। एंड थ्रू वट एवर मार्ग वन goes for, whether ज्ञान मार्ग, कर्म मार्ग, भक्ति मार्ग, it leads to the goal, that is oneness with God. So, friends, that's part one of my talk. Before we take a 5 minute break and then move to the part two,
Yes, sir.
that is the uh, uh, personal finance, on which I try to link the ICT and share my views. It's time to take your reflections, your questions. Anyone would like to ask or would like to add something, maybe if something I missed, you're
So I
most
would like
welcome.
to add, definitely the AI is there, but this AI is killing the imagination power and creativity of the students. And if we are giving, we are telling them you have to write an essay, they are writing it easily with the AI. But if we are after half an hour, if we are saying that just you jot down whatever you have written in the essay, so they are not able to write. And whatever you have said, I'm really impressed. One fourth from the teacher, one fourth on their own, like that. Sir, students have to learn on their own also. And what is the problem in our education system? I feel, sir, this IQ we are trying to develop, it's okay, but this EQ and SQ we are not developing nowadays. The intelligence quotient and social quotient of the student is decreasing day by day. Somewhere this spirituality is definitely giving us a peace of mind, a strength to live, I feel always. Personally, my favorite word among the Bhagavad Gita is that Krishna, Arjun is saying to Bhagwan that सब खिलाफ है, और भगवान बोलते हैं पार्थ सब हारेंगे. So that is giving somewhere the power to live, sir. That I feel.
Yes, Dr. Kundan, very good ideas. I appreciate.
Sir, I teach history. मैं इतिहास पढ़ाता हूँ.
हाँ,
So
बिल्कुल.
whatever I have learned from history, and uh, medieval history is my specialization. Uh, I have thought about this thing, why India was ruled by foreigners for such a long time, especially the British, 150 years, almost around 150 years. And of course, the Turks and the Mughals also, but they were not like foreigners. They became Indians. they उन्होंने उपनिवेश नहीं बनाया यहाँ पे, वो यहीं के होकर रह गए. तो थोड़ा अलग है उनका, लेकिन स्टिल दे केम फ्रॉम फॉरेन प्लेसेस एंड रूल्ड इंडिया. So why India was ruled for such a long time, so easily conquered? The reason I felt was that our knowledge system was inferior to the knowledge systems of these people. The Turks were riding on the back of the Arab Golden Age, जहाँ पे they had made great strides in mathematics, medicine, algebra is again Arabic. They took things from many civilizations and they put in their own. So these were city dwelling people. The same is even more true, more starkly true for the British. I mean, in the 17th century, Newtonian revolution, Newton had discovered the laws of motions, optics, and finite calculus in the 17th century itself. So what I think is we were inferior in terms of our knowledge systems and the distribution of knowledge, spreading of that knowledge. As we said, I mean, Harvard to Haridwar, it is a nice way of saying thing. But sir, 100 students of Harvard University have been Nobel laureates, almost 100 students. The running revenue of Harvard is around 55,000 crore, which is the same as the amount that is spent by the central government on higher education institutions in India. The endowment is even bigger, almost 4 lakh 70 something thousand crore. So, and that is only for 21,000, around 21, 22,000 students. So I think we need to learn so much, where especially our competitor like China is marching towards a hyper modern future. We, instead of looking back, we need to look forward very boldly and make things anew. I mean, we should create our own scientist innovation in India. That is what I feel. Thank you, sir. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Yes, Abhijit ji, good that you shared your views also. Yeah, but in the terms of knowledge system and all, I mean, it's a transition in the time because you are a person yourself of history. Then there was a time when you see the Indian GDP, the GDP of India compared to the GDP of rest of the world. We had a lion's share in that at one point of time. Uh, uh, Again, I would say last 10, 15 years, 20 years, we have witnessed a growth in the economy. And in the terms of GDP, our ranking is going up. And whatever you see, whether you see the IMF projections or the projections by the World Bank or the others, they all hint at that in the time to come, the economy size is further going to go up and up. Also, the kind of demographic dividend that we are going to witness, the essence is that India will remain uh, one of the youngest economies in the world, even 30 years after. And that will also start giving us benefits. This transitionary phase of a few centuries, whereby we saw the Mughals or the British, they ruled for some years or so. That economically, it was a big setback for the country. But still, as it is said in few of the lines that कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी सदियों रहा है दुश्मन जो दौरे जहां हमारा. So that is true because and why it is because of the great culture that we have. In the terms of knowledge system, I don't agree here because I believe that the knowledge system that we have is far better compared to others. But the only thing is that there was a kind of inferiority complex that built in over the time. And owing to that inferiority complex, we started believing that anything which is imported, anything that comes from abroad is good. But so, for example, if you see time and uh, you can measure the time maybe in seconds and minutes and maybe further divide the seconds. But if you see the concept of time in India that talks about the milliseconds to the yugas and further beyond. So that's again just an example that in the terms of the knowledge system, we are not behind. But I believe that India was once called as Sone ki Chidiya. So if instead of Sone ki Chidiya, we were Sone ka Cheetah, nobody would have dared to touch us. So thereby, I think the things are changing
Sir,
now.
it so happened. What happened is, in the 17th century, in the 16th, 17th century,
Hmm.
because of the discovery of gold and silver mines in the Americas, a large amount of the gold and silver came to India. And the reason why it came to India was because the European companies didn't have anything of value that would be of any value to Indians. But Indian goods like cotton goods and spices had great value in many places, like in Africa, in Southeast Asia, in Europe as well. So they had to pay us via gold and silver. So almost one fourth of the global bullion supply ended up in India in the Mughal period because of the peace that was created by the Mughal Empire in northern India. that gave rise to large amount of trade, long distance trade. So India became Sone ki chidiya in the Mughal period. That is when Indian GDP became almost one-fourth of the global GDP, matched the Chinese GDP. One-fourth was European GDP and one-fourth was for the rest of the world. So, in fact, India became a superpower. Indian borders included Kabul and Kandahar as well. The Mughals had a security doctrine which included controlling these outposts. So, what I'm saying is, of course, India was a great power at that time. But in terms of in modern scientific uh, 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 spread, I mean, that is what is needed. Is that what I feel?
We are having a fourth ranking in the AI vibrancy in the world, sir. UK, US, and China is definitely ahead of us, but we are also having the fourth vibrancy regarding AI. Means we are developing our technology and knowledge also. That is what I want to contribute.
Yeah, and Dr. Kundan, I think your area is Ayurveda, if I remember correctly. So nowadays in allopathy, there is so much talk about gut health. But I think Ayurveda is saying this from the day one that, if your gut health is good, then, you can not only proactively manage different kind of diseases, but also by improving your gut health, you can get rid of the existing diseases. So the only thing is that the moment this gut health and all these things came from the West, we have not taken up this in a big way that this is what our naturopathy and Ayurveda, they are saying from day one. So the thing is, again, I would say that time is changing, things are becoming better. Uh, if you ask me my personal opinion, I would say that I believe that in the materialism, we will never be number one in the world. But in spirituality, we will always be number one. Now, if it is believed that, so that means uh, monetary wealth, etc., we will have always less than others, and that's a waste of life. So it is not so, and that's what I discuss in my next session when I talk about what are the cultural roots we have when we talk about the individual way of managing our finances. But I think in the terms of our knowledge system, we should all take a pride in our knowledge system, and that's the best. Uh, the Takshila and Nalanda universities were burnt, and it is said that whosoever got whatever book in hand, the person ran away with this. So I still don't believe that how can homeopathy originate in Germany, where the acquaintance etc. was not there. In fact, the books they mentioned that once in the West it was believed that the wool that we get from India, the cotton that we get from India, there are trees on which there are some animals, and there the cotton comes up, and that cotton is then sent to us. So I am not remembering the name of the book where this page contained, but that was the state in the West. Uh, so I think by believing in those ideas, some new ideas, and continuously working on them, they could prosper more economically. But things will change. Things are changing. The standard of living, etc. If you see 1947, the life expectancy, and today there is a drastic change. So things are changing. But yes, in the terms of spirituality, we will always remain number one in the world. And uh, uh, life is not just all materialistic. There is a huge thing when it comes to the spirituality also. already Dr. Kundan has talked about the importance that one should give to emotional quotient and the spiritual quotient as well. So things are changing, and I think time to come, things are going to even get better only. But yes, for that, all of us have to work in unity and continuously for realizing the goal of the nation. So I think here we can take a 5 minute break, and then I come back with my another PPT in which I talk about that if you would like to develop something related to that's my functional area related to personal finance, then using the ICT and all you can do it. So give me 5 minutes. I'll be back.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Welcome back. So, are you able to see the screen and the second presentation?
Yes,
Yes,
sir, we are.
yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for confirming. So, we had a very good session, and uh, we had participation from some of you in the discussion. But I hope that in this we will have more discussion, because what I'm going to talk about here is related to all of us, that is managing the money. So, since I come from the area of personal finance, here I would mention that what way one can develop the content related to personal finance if one would like to. Secondly, for the individual life also, how it can be used. Thirdly, uh, our students will admire us more if we also try to give them some skills regarding money management. So, whatever subject we are teaching, but if we impart some skills related to money management to our students, then their respect for us will go up. They will rely on us more. They will accept us more in the classroom. So, in many forms, as we can think about. Also, the moment the student has more trust in the teacher, the the student would indeed do better, because I believe that only teachers and parents, they appreciate the success of the student. For others, there may be a little jealousy, but parents and teachers would always like that whatever we could do, our students do even more better than us. So it was very nice to have discussion in the first session, and I look forward that there should be participation of more of you in this second session. So once again, I appreciate that you have all joined this refresher course, and you want to fulfill the regulatory requirement as well as uh, enhance your learning in the area of ICT. So in the earlier session also, we were discussing about the Indian knowledge system, and there was an observation that maybe uh, whether our knowledge system is the best or not. But here there is one more example, that how the conventional knowledge system can become better by application of Indian knowledge system. And this is in the area of personal finance. So, uh, personal finance, as the name itself tells, it is about how we manage our money on a personal basis. Now, the moment we link it with our ancient culture, the uh, the context of personal finance will witness a change. I also talk about the ICT enabled personal finance model, and I have given a new model called as Bharti model of personal finance. So we can make it ICT enabled as well. And there is a good research opportunity in the area of this, as well as whatever areas you are working, particularly the ones which are applied in nature. So you can find some things from our culture and you can link it. In the area of commerce management, this linkage can be easy, uh, because some, let us say, theory related to behavior or attitude or leadership can always be modified in view of Bhagavad Gita. So there can be linkage, and thereby, when you have a new concept, then research opportunities can also come over there. So once again, I would like to draw your attention towards the free AI tools available for the video creation. Uh, and there is a tool called as Synthesia, in which in different languages and different kind of forms. You can create videos, and this the output from Synthesia can also be interfaced with social media. Social media. One more tool is InVideo, in which interchangeably you can use video ideas and the texts, and thereby you can further, as we have seen in other videos, you can do the editing, voiceover also. Canva AI is also getting more popular, particularly the youngsters these days when they are asked to make any kind of poster. So they would do it in Canva because the design styles are much better in Canva AI. And talking about the free AI tools for designing online examination, there also we discussed about Edpuzzle, Kahoot, and Quizlet. So this we did in the previous session. Now, talking about the personal finance. So uh, the relevance of personal finance comes from the facts that the personal finance helps in securing a great financial future, well-being, whether it is your well-being or you are talking about your family, extended family, whatever. Uh, Also financial independence. So these are the things that are talked about when we talk about personal finance, and therefore it is important for each and every one of us. Now, like as I would mention about personal finance, we can go for an ICT enabled models that we make. And uh, in the ICT enabled ones, we can use the different software, etc., which are available. And there are also AI tools. There is something called as Robo Advisor. So in the Robo Advisor, they have huge amount of data with them. And given the profile of the client, the Robo Advisor will advise how money should be managed. So the Robo Advisor is just one of the AI tools which is there. But apart from that, there can be many more tools. Now, the Bharti idea of personal finance has two additions. One is wisdom wealth, and second is the devotion wealth. So the Western idea of money management talks only about monetary wealth. But the idea, again, our great knowledge system, uh, talks about Vidyadhan and Bhakti Dhan. So Vidyadhan and Bhakti Dhan, these are the two uh, new additions which emanate to the personal finance the moment we start thinking about
Mm.
our culture. Now, in terms of money management, there are three stages. The first stage is called as financial literacy, in which the basic things related to money and ensuring that you don't come under the uh, you know uh, the web of the fraudsters. You know how to fill the forms for withdrawing the money from the bank or writing a check. You know the basic way of transferring the money. So these things will come under the basic thing, level one, that is financial literacy. Level two, level two is personal financial management, which is for those people who have financial literacy and now they want to manage their personal finances better by managing their liquidity position or managing their investment in stock market or mutual funds or fixed deposits in a better way. And the third stage is wealth management. Wealth management is for the affluent class, that is the rich class, the people who are already have a lot of money with them. So for them, the term that we use is wealth management, in which they have to protect their wealth and uh, grow it also, and ensure that the wealth, once they are no more in the world, is in the hand of the right people. So, financial literacy, personal financial management, and wealth management. These are the three stages in the terms of learning of money management. If we think about a poor person, then for the poor person, obviously the core focus has to be monetary wealth, because every day in the morning he gets up, he is not sure whether he will be able to have food for the afternoon and the evening. So, and if it is, then if there is any immediate requirement of money, uh, even if it is a small amount, 1,000 rupees, whether he'll be able to arrange or not. So obviously, a poor person core focus is more on the monetary wealth. But in our history, it is mentioned stories of people who uh, were poor, but they were very rich in the terms of their heart and also in the terms of their devotion. A middle class person can get more sophisticated with managing money, and therefore, with the middle class people, now middle income class people, we talk about personal finance. Now, here the emphasis on gaining knowledge or wisdom, that also holds prominence, and the more or less we find the person is also concerned about uh, the devotion wealth, that is the bhakti dhan. Now, the moment a person is rich, the monetary wealth management is required, but it is expected that now the person should also care about others, and along with that, the person's focus on the devotion wealth should go up. Many stories are there about managing money in our ancient texts, and we get different kind of insights from them. So when we talk about the Bharati model of personal finance, the conventional, that is the Western model, says that when you have money, you should invest first, and then whatever is left, you should spend that money. So they say that people make mistake when they spend first, and whatever is left, they invest that money. So the conventional model says that you should first find out that how much you need to invest, and you should invest that, and then after whatever money is left, only that you can spend. But then the Bharati model says that the moment you have money, you should first go for some dan, and the best form of dan is the sattvic dan. So the golden mongoose story, which you can see on the screen, you can Google and find out that in our rich history, uh, when at the end of the Mahabharat war, Raja Yudhishthir uh, was giving dan, that time a golden mongoose appeared. Half of the body of that mongoose was of gold. तो ये एक सुनहरा नेवला आया, और उस सुनहरे नेवले की आधी जो का जो आधा शरीर था, वो सोने का था, और उसने एक कहानी सुनाई. तो ये आप गूगल करके और पढ़ सकते हैं यदि आपको इस पे इंटरेस्ट है. रामचरितमानस जब हम देखते हैं, तो रामचरितमानस के जो अंतिम पृष्ठ हैं उसकी तरफ काकभूषणी की एक कथा आती है, और काकभूषणी से भगवान श्री राम ने पूछा कि तुम क्या चाहते हो, तुम कहो तो मैं तुमको कहीं का राजा बना दूं, तुमको कोई विशेष शक्तियां दे दूं, तुमको खूब सारे हीरे मोती दे दूं, तुमको क्या चाहिए? तो काकभूषणी ने उनसे कहा कि भगवान, आपने जो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात है उसके बारे में तो बात ही नहीं की, और वो है भक्ति। तो मुझे तो भक्ति चाहिए। तो जब काकभूषणी ने ऐसा भगवान श्री राम से कहा, तो भगवान राम ने काकभूषणी से कहा कि काकभूषणी, तुम बहुत चतुर हो, और यदि तुम चतुर ना होते तो तुम ये जो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण चीज है जीवन में, उसकी अभिलाषा कैसे करते? तो इससे हमें ये सीखने को मिलता है कि जब भगवान स्वयं कह रहे हैं कि भक्ति का अपना एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण स्थान है, तो फिर हम उससे विमुख रहें तो वो सही बात नहीं होगी। Also, there are a lot of other stories like of Devi Mirabai, Devi Shabri, Ramakrishna Paramhans ji. So, devotion wealth, that is the Bhakti Dhan, we can have a very good acquaintance by reading all this. So, friends, the Bharti model of personal finance, what it talks about, if you look at the top oval which you see, there you will find the components, and there are some components which are named there, like Satvik Dan, budgeting, liquidity, investment, risk management, etc. So, the personal finance is about all these things. Budgeting, that is, whatever spending you have to do, you should keep a proper record of that. So, that comes under budgeting. Liquidity and emergency fund. So, it is said that whatever are your expenses, at least 6 months expenses you should have in the liquid form. That is, suppose someone spends 30,000 rupees a month, so 1,80,000 rupees the person should have in a form which the person can access immediately. So it can be in the auto sweep fixed deposit, or it could be in your savings account, it can be in the form of cash. So that comes under liquidity. Investment. So usually when people approach chartered accountants, they ask that I have this much of the money, where should I invest? And the chartered accountant also immediately gives them the answer that you should invest here. But very few people would ask that what are your personal financial goals? If your need for money is after 2 years or 3 years, you should not invest in stock market. If your need for money is after 15 years, then stock market is the best place. So, investment, taxation, how do you invest? How do you manage your taxes? Retirement, how one does the retirement planning, so that for monetary requirements, one need not work again after retired. So in US, lot of people who take up a job and they retire, once they retire, after that they have to find a new job, because they are not well prepared as far as their retirement is concerned. One more component of personal finance is risk management, which is about taking the requisite insurance. And another component of estate planning, that is the estate planning. So estate planning is the one on which the awareness is very low. It is about making a will or power of attorney. I don't know if some of you watched a movie called as Bazigar. So that Bazigar movie was based on the platform was of estate planning, that a wrong power of attorney was done, and thereby the family of the hero faces problem, and then he decides I will do the same to the other person. So estate planning. So these are the components of personal finance. Satvik Dan has come up as a component from the Bharti model, but otherwise the all others like budgeting, liquidity, investment, estate planning, they are the part of conventional model of personal finance. So friends, what I want to tell you is that you should all try that the good principles of budgeting, investment, estate planning, you should all follow in life. Compared to the earlier times, the knowledge about personal finance is available on the Google, etc., in much better way compared to the previous times. And but at the same time, there are also fraudsters who are around, and they are eyeing at our hard-earned money. So we should be very careful. Uh, Money says, "Save me today, I will save you tomorrow. Save me today, I will save you tomorrow." So if you save money and you have money, ample money with you, which is required for your managing the day-to-day expenses of self and family, then you will always be at a peace of mind because you have an adequate amount of money with you. But the Bharati model says that apart from that, one more thing, that when you are no more, the money will not go with you, but the goodness of money can go with you. So, what it means is that, as we talk in our ancient culture about the punya, so if one uses the money in a good way, one earns punya, and so these punya then help a person even when the person is no more in the world. So, uh, the conventional personal finance talks about long term, but the Bharati model of personal finance talks about super long term, because what will happen when you are no more in the world? So, if you manage your money in a proper way, then the money can help you even when you are no more in the world. One more oval that you see in this diagram is sustainability. May all be happy. Sarve Sukhinah Santu. So, this is also a part. Culture. So, the concepts of Purusharth, Dharma, Arth, Kam, Moksha, as many of you are aware about, the different ashram vyavastha, right from the grahast, right from the brahmacharya ashram to the vanaprastha, the rinas, shubh labh is written outside every house, but we many a times don't think about what is the core idea of shubh labh. See, in the Western world, the idea is post-tax profit. They feel that on an income, if you have paid the tax, this amount is a good money. What about India? In India, it is believed that it should be Shubh Labh. That is, uh, apart from the taxes, the money should be earned in the right way, should be spent in the right way, should be invested in the right way, should also be donated in the right way. And if one does that, then the labh will be Shubh. So Shubh is the one which connects us with God, which connects us with Bhakti. So Shubh Labh, naturally, if it is pursued at the home, will lead to oneness with God at some point of time. So, like that, there are many concepts because our ancient culture is built on 12 pillars of Karma Phal Siddhant and Punarjanam Siddhant, that is rebirth. So, Karma Phal and rebirth, these are the two core beliefs in our ancient culture. Uh, and if you recollect last session, we talked about the purpose of existence from the lower order, that is the Charvak philosophy of darshan, to the Vedic philosophy, that is the higher order purpose of existence. So all these four in together, they help to build monetary wealth, wisdom wealth, and devotion wealth. So here in the Bharati model, I have mentioned that uh, you can build these three kind of wealth. तो इस तरह से जो मौद्रिक धन, विद्या धन और भक्ति धन, ये तीनों की हम बात करते हैं, तो ये हमारा जो एंशंट कल्चर है उसी को ही हम अप्लाई करके कह सकते हैं. And I believe that I was talking about in the last session about moving from Harvard to Haridwar. So this is one more example that gives us a hope that this model, the moment it gets popular across the world, uh, can make the world to follow our country once again. Because the conventional model talks more about the monetary wealth, where the Bharati model also gives a good emphasis on the Bhakti Dhan. So again, seeing the model, and if you see towards the center, monetary wealth, wisdom wealth, and devotion wealth, these are the three kind of wealths that can be created. And just to clarify a little more, the Satvik Dan, taxation, so all these which you see on the screen, they are the components of Bharati model of personal finance. So in view of that, I have summarized some points that when you develop any kind of e-content related to personal finance, then uh, we should remember that the personal finance starts with self-assessment and introspection, with giving respect and conveying our gratitude to the Almighty God that we are born as a human being. It is said, Bade dhan bhag, manush tan pawa. So there is a difference between uh, plants, animals, human beings, and the kind of consciousness, the level that we have, we can do a new karma. So that is something uh, animals can't do. So animals are driven more by the instinct. But if we are born as a human, then we have a chance to have oneness with God. So that way, there is a linkage between personal finance and uh, the true meaning of life. Second thing is that it is important to understand the merit of differentiating traditional and Bharatiya perspectives of personal finance, because the Western world is more focused on the money and the health, well, the Bharatiya context uh, takes up that the ultimate goal of life is oneness with God. So the first step is Satvik Dan. So under the Satvik Dan, uh, depending on one's own interest and one's own capacity, uh, one can donate about 3 to 10% of the estimated surplus after meeting the routine expenses. So, because if you see in our ancient text, it is talked about that if the money is not used in a proper way, that money may uh, vanish through one or the other ways. Also, dear friends, it is important that when we talk about personal finance, we think about our goals. If you remember, there is a story, Alice in the Wonderland. So, Alice asks uh, Mr. Rabbit that where these different roads lead to. And Rabbit says that, Alice, where you want to go? Alice says, I don't know. So the rabbit says that in that case, you can take any road. So the point is that if a person doesn't know about the personal financial goals, then managing the investments becomes difficult. So an example, that a person makes a goal that by the time I reach the age of 60 years, I should accumulate 1 crore 25 lakh rupees of wealth, so that post retirement I can live peacefully. Now, if the person's age right now is 35 years, what should the person do in the next 25 years? So that's the starting point when it comes to the investment. So the problem is that without thinking about the goals, we tend to invest our money. So goal identification, goal framing is very important. And then the second aspect is taking the requisite insurance, whether it is life insurance, motor insurance, and health insurance. And here I would like to tell you that when you go for the life insurance policies, don't mix insurance and investment. You may feel that if nothing happens to us, this entire money will go to the insurance company only. I will not get anything back. And therefore, there should be a policy in which I survive, then also I get some money. It's a natural temptation, but that is not giving you a good return. That's why take only pure life insurance plan. Don't go for endowment. Don't go for the endowment plans or the money back plans. Similarly, going for motor insurance is legally also required. And in health insurance, many a times we don't read the fine print and we just see that for getting 10 lakh rupees of health insurance, where the premium is lowest, and we buy that policy. And that may be a very, very bad decision. So be careful here. Also, the next point is about emergency and liquidity planning, which help to manage the unforeseen situations. We talked about budgeting. So there is a systematic record keeping that one should do. Personal financial goals. I mentioned in the last slide that we should all write our personal financial goals. They have to be very specific. आप कार खरीदना चाहते हैं तो कब खरीदना चाहते हैं, कितने में खरीदना चाहते हैं, तो वो जब हमको तय होगा तो उस हिसाब से हम हमारे पैसे को अच्छी तरह मैनेज कर सकते हैं. And similarly, if we do all these like tax planning and retirement planning properly, estate planning also, very few people have their will. If someone in the family asks, why don't you make a will? Then the person will feel bad. And the person will never think about making a will unless there is a particular situation where the person feels that whether I will survive after a few days or not, then the person immediately rushes to make a will. So the money can lead us to the materialistic goal. But if we want money to lead us to spiritualistic goal also, then this Bharti model, which I mentioned, is the way out. So the content can be created using the ICT for this new model, and maybe for many more which may come in your mind. Will, I mentioned that people sometimes make the will, but there are many loopholes in the will. And people believe that once I have made the will, I can never change it, but it is not so. But if you make a will and you take the help of a lawyer, it is always better, because sometimes the will that is made is later on challenged in the court also. Mutual funds should also be part of everyone's portfolio. And compared to the earlier times, today, the kind of variety that you have in mutual funds should not be taken as just as a confusion, but knowledge is available today and you can find out which funds are good for you. Just like when we consider going to a doctor when we have some health problem, similarly, when we have money management problem, then there are personal financial planners who can help, but you have to choose very carefully. Also, as the time progresses, this is important point, one should control one's senses and reduce the needs. Now, this is something which the conventional model doesn't talk about. But with time, if we control our senses and reduce our requirements, then our need for money will be lesser. And also, when we talk about the spirituality, then while there should always be a spirit to grow, but there is a good room for doing the prayers, meditation, yogasan, pranayam, because they help us in getting more clarity. And if we have more clarity, then we can take all our decisions in a better way, including money decisions. This ABCD model we have already seen, so this is applicable in the case of personal finance also. And there are many do's and don'ts related to personal finance, and the Bharatiya perspectives can be helpful. Also, it is important that we should keep in touch with the latest. So therefore, in the background of this slide, you can see newspapers. So it doesn't mean that all our investment should be based on what comes in the news, because sometimes people may tend to befool us. But we should be in touch with what is happening latest, and we can find out the best. So when the sovereign gold bonds were announced by the government, and people invested in those bonds, so they are quite happier today. And also, friends, the digital, legal, and the cyber literacies are also very much important, because otherwise the money management decision may not happen in a good way. This is one book I would like to suggest to you, that there is a book called as Let's Talk Money by Monica Hallan. She is one of the best personal financial experts in India right now. And this book is translated in Hindi also. बात पैसे की, ये इस किताब का हिंदी का संस्करण है. And the book is translated in multiple uh, uh, languages like Punjabi and many more, Gujarati also, in many languages. So this is a very good book, a small book, but with very big ideas. And audio form of book is also available. So again, coming back to the point that money says, save me today, I will save you tomorrow. This is the conventional perspective. And I will not go with you, that is, money says, I will not go with you when you are no more in the world, but my goodness can provide you, uh, goodness can go with you, provided you use me following the Bharati culture. So that's what in our culture we talk about the punya, etc. So the Bharati model talks about the Purusharth, Dharma, Arth, Kam, Moksha, the different ashram, rinas, Shubh Labh, Lok Sangrah, for better super long term. Because super long term means that what happens after we are no more in the world, and freedom from taking birth again and again. So this super long term and freedom from taking birth again and again, this is something which is talked about only in our rich culture. That's why I maintain that our knowledge system is the best in the world. And our cultural texts, they warn us from accumulating too much of money. So, and if you read on the Google what happened after Mahabharata, when the Pandavas reached Bhagwan Krishna and asked that how the Kali Yuga would be like, then Bhagwan Krishna shot arrows in different directions and asked the Pandavas to go there and see what is happening. At one place, there was a big well which was overflowing, and around that, there were dry wells. So the lesson was that in the Kali Yuga, in the present time, as we see, many people who have money, they are not using that money in the right way, not doing the Sattvic Dan. And uh, the Bharati model asks that what about the super long term? The conventional personal finances think about 30 years, 50 years, 60 years. Bharati model says, what about 1000 years? So if a person in US is asked that if you get 250 years of healthy life and $250 million in your bank account, do you think it is the ultimate? Most probably the person will say, yes, this is the ultimate. But in India, there will be many people who would say, no, this is not the ultimate. Even if you give me 1000 years of life and $1,000 billion in my bank account, it is still not the ultimate, because the ultimate thing is oneness with God. So again, coming back to the Ramcharitmanas, the communication between Kagbhushandi and Bhagwan Sri Ram. So to sum up, and then we take up your points and questions, that the Bharati model talks about all these things: components, sustainability, purpose, and culture. And once again, my gratitude to the university and the MMTTC for inviting me and making me part. So now I stop here, and the rest of the time I keep for the discussions with you on this. Uh, it might have made different kind of sense to you, because that's not the core cup of tea on which the refresher is on. But I thought that after the first session, I can just talk a little about how you can manage your money in a better way. And if you would like to develop some kind of e-content, etc., related to this, or just like I have tried to improve the conventional concept by including our rich culture. So that way you can also think about improving some existing concepts by taking up the things from our religious texts, etc. So you can always do that. So now over to your questions, your comments, and your thoughts.
Sir, thanks for the nice lecture. Sir, a little bit digression is there, but coming to your first slide only, you have mentioned there that you are a chairman of B-Tide company and it is working for the incubation also. So, is the incubation from the whole country you are entertaining the proposal of the budding minds?
Oh yes, Dr. Kundan. So we have an incubation center powered by Niti Aayog, and later on we got the grants from US aid also, and German GIZ also, and HDFC Bank also, and here in Jaipur there is an AU Small Finance Bank which is now become a big bank. So from that also, so we got CSR grants from all these, and then we set up this incubation center. So here right now we have supported more than 100 startups. Our focus is more on the startups that come from women, but that's not always the condition. Uh, and I think in the terms of the different startups that we have, there are many new kind of products that have come up, and some of the startups have also got funding from Shark Tank program as well. So this is what we do in incubation. So this BTIDE is Banastali Technology Incubation and Development of Entrepreneurs. This is the name because there is a Section 8 company that is to be formed for taking up the incubation. That's why this was formed by the university.
Okay, sir, nice to hear that. Sir, these banks are also having the CSR with them, but they are not entertaining the educational institute which are doing quite decent or good in the education. What we can do there, sir? What is your suggestion as far as the finance, your sector is concerned?
Yeah, so I tell you, it is about how the overall educational institute makes an impact on them. For example, State Bank of India, when they opened the branch in the campus, they said that we can we can convert all your lights into LED lights in some buildings at least, and so that can be a support to you. You can save electricity, and it will be good for the environment also. Or we can put some RO filters, etc. So we said that it will not make a big impact. The visibility of such a big bank like State Bank will not happen. So there, then chairman that time, Arundhati Bhattacharya was. So she then we gave a proposal of setting up a State Bank of India School of Commerce and Banking. So she approved that, and so we have that. Now, uh, why they did at Banastali? So they did at Banastali because they saw the good culture and the good academic vibes in the campus and the sincerity towards and the achievements that we have. So if you see today, then it is NAC A double plus. It for the last 7 years has been always part of the top 75 in NIRF, and among the women's universities, the only university that has come in the top 75 in NIRF for the last 7 years. So owing to that, they did. So why other banks are not doing? So I mean, they have to be reached out and they need to know the mechanism, what purpose, what is your proposal, and then they do. But in the terms of what we discussed about personal finance, I think here now the things are much better, and now lot of supported investor awareness programs are being done by many. So, but one has to reach out banks on a one-to-one basis, and then the things happen. For example, even after that, State Bank every year sponsors one conference in Banastali. Last time we did a conference on music and the impact, and that was an international conference. So State Bank gave 2.5 lakhs for one conference. So we could get people
Nice.
from Japan and other countries also to the campus, and all their expenses were funded through the grant that came from State Bank.
Okay, so nice to hear, sir. We will try to approach in that way, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You have enlightened us with knowledgeable things, including IPS also. I would like to convey just that I have visited your university. It's a huge campus, and it's shocking that 16,000 residents girls are there. And our past resident Pratibha Patil was also alumni of US. I have seen your all the choppers and everything, and the morning and evening atmosphere. And whatever the knowledge you have imparted today, it is definitely for not just commercial things, but spiritual values which we have to inculcate in us that you have given. Thank you very much for this.
So, Umesh Kumarji, what is your area, sir? What?
Humanities, sir, English literature. And
Oh,
I have visited your Atal Incubation Center.
oh, thank you. Thank you for visiting. We look forward to see you maybe in the future also.
Yes,
Very
sir.
nice. Very nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this wonderful session. Uh, one question that I would like an answer for is how do we integrate IKS to improve entrepreneurial skills among the students, among the teachers? I'm from the teacher education background, so it would be nice if you suggest because we are not seeing that entrepreneurial skills among the teachers.
Entrepreneurial skills among teachers.
Teachers, yes.
Ah,
Budding teachers, student
budding
teachers.
teachers.
We would like to,
See,
through this
yeah,
IKS.
so one is the institutional support also. For example, in many of the institutions, if someone comes up with one's own venture, then they would take it up negatively that you can't do two things at the same time. You are in a full-time job here. How can you have your own venture? So these kind of norms can prevent, or the very idea of entrepreneurship cannot come in the mind of the teachers. But now I think the things are changing, and many institutions they have a startup policy whereby they encourage their teachers and the students that if you wish, then you can come up with a startup idea. So time is changing in that way. Now coming to the integration. So integration, the I think one is that there are many startups that have tried to integrate IKS into the business, and they have come up with their innovative offerings. So, although we normally study only about the big names and the Western, successful stories, but the ones where some new things are being done using some kind of our knowledge, etc., and all. So those things we should see first of all what are the success stories. So that way it will at least open the mind, because people feel that relating IKS and this is not possible. Now, what I mentioned right now, the Bharati model of personal finance. So yesterday I was at one forum in Mumbai, as I talked about. So there I discussed this with some of the companies which are offering the personal finance solutions. That why don't you make a model based on this? So if you make this, then that would be something where you will be the only player in India that would have a startup related to managing money through the Bharati model. So if this can be done, you will have a cutting edge over others. So this is one example. But I think we have Dr. Kundan also here with us. So I think related to Ayurveda, although there are many medicines that we know about, but by doing the requisite experiments, etc., one can find out some new herbs from India that can provide some magic discoveries for the good health. And based on that, some business model can also come up. So these could be some of the ways which immediately come to my mind as to how we can promote entrepreneurship among teachers and the students.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the question, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You explained very well. Um, I have a question about Satvik Dan. Do you have any examples for Satvik Dan as individual person? This is my first question. And so second question is, as there is inflation by 5% every year, then the person feel insecure. So it is not possible for them, like Abhijit sir said, they are being materialistic. So how you describe this with the life balance, work balance, money balance?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for this question. So, when it comes to Satvik Dan, first of all, Dan can be of three types: Satvik, Rajasik, and Tamsik. So, when you talk about the terrorist model, so their terrorist model is the, ultra Tamsik, in which they would like to give money so that this money can be used to kill some other person. So that is one way. And the Satvik Dan is the one which is done with the best of the capacity one can. It is done for a noble purpose, and it is done with an intent and a prayer to God that after doing this, I should not remember that I have done this dan. So that's why it is mentioned in our text that you give money from or donate from the right hand, the left hand should not know about it. So, or sometimes some people give some money and they say that on this wall my name should be written on the top because I have given 1 lakh and not 50,000. So that will be more a Rajasik dan in nature, done for a good purpose, but you want that your name and fame should also happen. So when one goes beyond that, then that becomes a Satvik dan, and that's where I mentioned that at the end of the Mahabharata, there was a golden mongoose that came in the darbar of Raja Yudhishthir. So please do Google and see that story. That will give more clarity on this. And I think Mahabharata is full of such kind of things. And even other than that, Shukracharya warned Mahabali that this Vaman that has come to your place, don't agree to what he asks because he will take everything from you. But Bali said that I am the grandson of Prahlad. Whatever this Vaman asks me, I will give it because I have given my words. So or even if you see at the end of Mahabharata when Karn was about to die and Bhagwan Krishna went to him and said that look, I want some gold from you. So Karn that time, he just took out one of his teeth, which was of gold, and gave it to Bhagwan Krishna. Now Bhagwan Krishna said, no, there is blood in this, I cannot take it. So Karn, shot an arrow in the earth and a water stream was there and he washed that teeth and then gave it. So, I mean, Satvik Dan, there are so many examples. Even there is one example that two mountains were of gold and Arjun was asked to give this gold to the villagers. He started giving and then after some time he felt tired. He said, no, I will now do it next day. The same was then given to Karn. Karn said that, called all the villagers and said, take whatever you want. And he said, that's over. Now I will work on something else. So that's also Satvik Dan. So a lot of examples. Second thing, ma'am, you mentioned about the inflation. So look, inflation, if it is going up by 5%, what it means is that our purchasing power is also going down. So if you want the purchasing power of your money should not go down, then that's why we need to make investment. Now, if the return that we get in our investment is 5%, then we will just be able to save the purchasing power of our money. But if we want to beat the inflation, then we will have to look for those particular avenues where we get return more than what we lose because of the inflation. So that's why, ma'am, it is said that if you have to, you need some amount of money after say 10 years or 15 years. The best way is to put this money into the stock market through the equity mutual funds, because they will always beat the return that you get on the fixed deposit. But having said this, there are many more things that have to be considered before making an investment, because personal finance is an entire, set of things that have to be learned over the time. That's why I thought that I will not be able to tell you everything in the session. But if you read this book, Let's Talk Money by Monica Hallan, and this is also there in Hindi and multiple languages, then it will give you a very good idea, because compared to a textbook on personal finance in which you will feel like I am not a person of finance or management, how can I read the book? This book is for everyone. Anyone can read and understand and implement the things. And many common mistakes that we do, like I told you that when we go for life insurance, we go for money back plan. 10 साल तक 1 लाख रुपए दो और उसके बाद 15 साल आपको 1 लाख रुपए मिलेगा, तो एकदम हमको लगता है ये तो बहुत बड़ा फायदा है. बट एक्चुअली व्हेन वी कैलकुलेट फाइनेंशियली, इस पे रिटर्न आपको बैंक एफडी से भी बहुत कम मिल रहा है, और आपका पैसा आप 15-20 साल के लिए लगा रहे हैं. सो दैट वे देर इज अ प्रॉब्लम. सिमिलरली कई बार हम म्यूचुअल फंड्स लेते हैं पर ब्रोकर के थ्रू लेते हैं, तो पता है आपको कि उस ब्रोकर को लाइफ लॉन्ग हमारे म्यूचुअल फंड में जो गेन होता है उस पर कमीशन लाइफ लॉन्ग मिलता रहता है. ऐसा नहीं है कि उसको केवल एक ही बार मिला. तो ये इस तरह की काफी सारी चीजें हैं जो थोड़ा ध्यान में रखी जा सकती.
So I wanted to
Thank you,
just
sir.
ask
Thank
you,
you very much, sir.
very nice. The lecture was, you have motivated us to read a lot of stories actually. But I
Yes.
just a thought came to my mind that those who have money, they are able to invest, they are able to grow, they are able to, stocks. The poor don't have anything, right? And they are not able to grow their money because they don't have any money for their own living. So is that gap not increasing in the society then, when there are so many people who are more
Yes,
in the
ma'am. Yes,
poverty?
ma'am. So,
Yes,
ma'am,
it was-
when we here in Banastali talk about managing money, we have a program also. So we do some programs for the rural women also over here. So I will tell you my real life experience here. So when I was conducting a program, then some women, they said that you asked us to put some money in Atal Pension Yojana, and we don't have money, we can't invest 250 rupees a month. Also, we know it is going to be good for us when we reach the age of 60 years. But 250, 300 rupees in the family, it is difficult and all. So I asked them that find out that if on every day you are spending money and there are some spendings on unproductive things. So she said, yes, my husband consumes liquor. Uh, Also, he eats that Vimal and different kind of gutkas every day. So I said, if in some way you can reduce that expense by half, so do you think you will be able to save 300 rupees a month? So she smiled and said that not just 300, I can save much more. So I think that can be one way out of it. But apart from that, many a times when we talk about the poor people, then they are not aware about the ways in which the things should be done. Thankfully, to the Jan Dhan scheme that we have now, so a lot of bank accounts opened. But we helped many women who were, ma'am, keeping their cash in plastic wallets or the plastic, and they were burying it under a tree somewhere, and they were not keeping in the bank. Now some of those they converted and they started with the bank account. One day I asked one woman that you should keep an ATM card and you can withdraw the money through ATM card, no need to go to the bank. So she said, no, I will not keep ATM card because my husband will withdraw all the money through the ATM card. So I said, you don't know, there is a password also. So you don't give the password. She said, no, sir, if I don't give the password, he will beat me. And my son will stop talking to me because I am not giving the ATM card. And on contrary, if I go to the bank branch, there I can do some negotiation with the person, that is my husband or my son, that look, we have to do this expense also, this, that also. So instead of withdrawing all the money that I have in my account, withdraw half, withdraw some. So that way I will be able to save the money. So see, what we see is many a times the theory tells us that use ATM and password and all, but rural people have their own set of problems. So you are absolutely right on that. But I think as far as our rural people are concerned, things are quite better today. That has its own plus and minus. The free ration and the free schemes and all, they are all politically very much debatable that are there. But yes, the only way in which you can secure your good future financially is by saving and investing more. And you have to find the ways of doing that. Either you have to increase your income, or you have to reduce your expenses, or you have to do both.
Okay, thank you, sir. Actually, there's a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Is it the same?
Oh, yes.
This Let's Talk Money. Is it the same, saying the same about it? I don't know if like.
No, ma'am, this Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it is talking more about managing money in the terms of the Western context, and talks more about the fact that uh, your money should also work for you equally as hard as you have worked for the money. So, but this book by Monica Hallan, it is written in the Indian perspective. So you will be able to relate money management in much a better way. And Monica Hallan, apart from this, the plus point is that she is very active on social media. And after reading the book, if you ask some question to her, she will reply to you also on the social media.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. She has made it a mission in the life to help people in managing money. And she resides in Delhi. As such.
सर जैसा वही अभी आपने कहा, यही मनी सेज दैट, नहीं, सेव मी टुडे आई विल सेव यू टुमारो। सो सर, हम लोगों के कल्चर में ऋषियों ने जो चीज कही है, धर्मो रक्षति रक्षता, उन्होंने इस ठीक यही चीज धर्म के रेफरेंस में बोली है कि तुम हमारी रक्षा करो, हम तुम्हारी रक्षा करेंगे। तो सर ये डिफरेंस, मतलब नहीं, मेटलिस्टिक वर्ड और अपना जो
नहीं, और
एंशियंट
उसके साथ डॉक्टर अलका जी, ये भी है कि आप धर्म का पालन भी तभी कर सकते हैं जब आपके पास पैसा हो। ये भी है
सर, तभी वो जो 4 पुरुषार्थ, धर्मार्थ काम
हाँ,
मोक्षाणाम आरोग्यम मूलम उत्तमम, सर आयुर्वेद में तो
बहुत
ये
बढ़िया।
महर्षि चरक ने कही। और सर इसीलिए नहीं, सबसे पहले वाला धर्म को ही रखा है, मतलब
और देखिए,
कितना।
ये इसमें मुझे ध्यान आ रहा है, आपने जो कहा इससे एकदम ध्यान आया मुझे। ये एक प्रोफेसर चिन्मय पांड्या साहब का एक टॉक है, वो मेरे ख्याल से सोशल मीडिया पे भी है। तो उसमें उन्होंने बताया कि एक ऋषि थे, तो वो ऋषि एक बार ध्यान में बैठे थे और उनके शिष्य उनके आसपास बैठे हुए थे। अचानक वो जो ऋषि हैं, उनकी आंखों से आंसू आने लगे। तो शिष्यों ने उनसे पूछा कि भाई, तुम्हारे आंखों में से ऋषि से पूछा कि गुरुदेव, आपके आंखों से आंसू क्यों आ रहे हैं? तो उनके गुरु ने कहा, मैंने कलयुग का चरम देख लिया, तो इसलिए मुझे आंखों में आंसू आ गए। तो शिष्यों ने पूछा कि ये क्यों हुआ? ऐसा क्या हुआ कि ये कलयुग अपने चरम पे पहुंच गया? ऐसी क्या चीज हुई? तो उन्होंने फिर से ध्यान किया और कहा कि प्रज्ञा विहीनता। तो इसलिए आपने ध्यान दिया होगा, जो मैंने वूका मॉडल का बात किया है, तो वूका का एक्सटेंशन में मैंने एक विजडम लेसनेस भी टर्म इसलिए यूज किया है। तो कहने का यह है कि हम जैसे प्रज्ञा विहीनता जब रखते हैं, तो फिर हर जगह गलतियां होती हैं। तो पैसे के साथ भी इस तरह का चीज होगा। अब हम, हमारा इतना अच्छा ज्ञान है, लेकिन हम यदि उसको भूल गए और वो हमने हमारे मन में एक इंफीरियरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स ले आए, पुसी कैट वेयर हैव यू बीन, आई हैव बीन इन लंदन टू सी द क्वीन। तो छोटे बच्चे को शुरू से ही सिखा दो कि बेटा, जो क्वीन है वो तो लंदन में रहती है। तो वो बच्चा कभी भी अपने देश के प्रति उसका सम्मान और उसके ज्ञान के प्रति उसका सम्मान हो ही नहीं पाएगा। लेकिन थोड़ा चीजें बदल रही हैं तो अच्छी बात है।
सर इसीलिए नहीं, प्रखर प्रज्ञा के साथ सजल श्रद्धा का कॉम्बिनेशन वही बताया गया है कि विवेकशीलता, इंटेलेक्ट के साथ हमारे
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल,
इमोशंस
बहुत
भी
अच्छी
और
बात है।
संवेदनाएं भी हो। नहीं सर, थैंक यू सो मच सर, सो इनलाइटेंड टॉक सर।
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. You talked about the importance of saving and investing.
Yes.
But after COVID-19, it is being observed that rather than saving, people are spending more. So, what you look at this phenomena as per your point of view? Why people are behaving like this?
I mean, that's the best thing to be asked to economists. But I think you spend more when you are more optimistic about the future. That is one. Second is you feel that at the time of COVID, we saw people, dying in seconds, minutes, and also we don't know what will happen in future. So let's consume the things as much as we can, and let's be as lavish as possible. And sometimes there is also a song, "It's My Life," or there is also one liquor company that gave an advertisement message, "There is one life, make it large." But I think these are more inspired by the Charvak model. The moment you are, thinking about all this, our Vedic model is altogether different. But there is no problem if one is spending more. But if one has the due capacity for it, then it is good. So it's fine if people spend more. Yes, one concern is that our annual household savings percentage as a percentage of the GDP, that is reducing, particularly when after the government has come up with the new income tax regime, and the incentive to save and invest has come down a little. But I think if one considers the overall personal finance and then takes the investment decisions, that's not a problem. One more thing that has happened is that the real estate prices have gone up. And when people have sold the real estate, they had a lot of cash with them because you can't show the entire amount as, white. So, along with that, if you ask people in business and all, so they say that a lot of time people come to us, they buy in the form of cash, and the asset is bought, like the refrigerator or there is bought in the name of some other person in their family. So these things are there.
No, sir, but it is seen that if you are earning and from your earning you are spending, it is good. But it is
Hmm.
seen that people are taking the loans. Just a few days before, I read an article in the newspaper that
Hmm.
near about total loans, near about 70% loans are allocated to personal loans, and people are taking personal loans more and more, and they are spending on the unnecessary
Oh,
stuff.
yes.
So
Yes, yes. So that is I
that
agree with
had
you, Professor. That is bad financial planning because that should never be done. Personal loans and credit card, so they are the ones which charge you the highest interest. So they are not good for one. And these things are also witnessed in the US. In US, there is a big problem for the government when it comes to the credit card spending by the youngsters, because they tend to spend more and then they don't find the way. How do they meet all those expenses?
because personal loans are not adding value to the economy. Na? That's why it in future it can become a social problem that people are not saving enough for their future needs and all, and they are just spending for the different what we can say for their lasers and all.
Yeah.
So
So there
I
are two
I
things.
think it would
Uh,
create the social problem in the future. So
hmm.
it
Yeah.
is not good for the country's economic health
Hmm.
as well.
Yes. 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 You are right. So see, either they are the unproductive expenses that one does. For example, I gave the example of liquor and the gutka. So they are unproductive. Second is impulse buying. Impulse buying is also happening. That how to relieve yourself from the stress. Then one goes to Amazon and buys some product. So there, some people say that instead of immediately buying, you just put it in your cart on the Amazon and ask yourself after 2 days whether I really need this product. So there are ways in which you can curb this kind of consumption. So, but in all the ways, if you are living beyond your means, that will have a negative impact on you. But at the same time, it's not good to live like a miser also. When uh, Angad went to the court of Ravan So he told Ravan that there are 14 other ways in which a living person can be considered as a dead person. And he said that one is that if one lives in a very miserly fashion, that is, यदि कोई व्यक्ति बहुत कंजूसी से रहता है, तो अंगद ने कहा कि मैं तो उसको भी मरा हुआ ही मानता हूँ. But at the same time, someone spending too much beyond the means will be, the death for the finances in the future. So one has to indeed keep a balanced view.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, very good question. Thanks for asking this question. Your name is Professor?
Sir, it's Nitin, sir. Nitin Dhavde.
Okay, Nitinji, thank you. Thank you for this very good question. Dr. Seemaji, you are on mute. I'm not able to hear you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I invite Dr. Alka Mishra, ma'am, to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. I am audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. Good evening to all and pranam to respected sir. On behalf of UGC MMTTC, Dr. Baba Sahab Ambedkar Marathwada University and the participants of this refresher course, it is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for today's enlightening session on ICT in higher education, especially using ICT through IKS and ICT-enabled Bharatiya model of personal finance. Firstly, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Dr. Purhit sir, for delivering such an insightful and thought-provoking presentation. Your insights helped us rediscover the rich and unique educational heritage of our culture, where learning has always been rooted in values, experience, and holistic development, which you have explained in the form of Panchmukhi Shiksha. At the same time, you beautifully highlighted how ICT is reshaping modern education, opening new pathways for accessibility, innovation, and learner-centered approach. The way you connected traditional wisdom with contemporary digital transformation has truly broadened our perspective. We are grateful for the depth of knowledge you shared, the clarity with which you delivered complex ideas, and the relevance of examples you provided, like from Harvard to Haridwar, fourfold mode of learning, VOCA and NWSF, BMPF, and many more. Your words have certainly motivated us to reflect, adapt, and reimagine our own roles as educators in this evolving landscape. We are deeply thankful to you, sir, for taking the time to share your expertise with us today. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to Dr. Beena Sanger ma'am, course coordinator of this refresher course, Professor Dhanshri Mahajan ma'am, director UGC MMTTC, Dr. Bamu, Dr. Rafi sir, Deputy Director, Dr. Seema ma'am, Session Coordinator, Amol sir for technical support, and whole organizing team for their meticulous planning and seamless execution of this program. Your efforts make learning meaningful and impactful. A special word of thanks to all the participants whose active involvement and thoughtful questions enriched the session further. Thank you very much, sir, and thanks to all participants. Thank you once again.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Highly thankful to your.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir.
ma'am.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
sir. Thank
Very
you,
well
sir.
summarized.
Thank you.